So welcome back to the Discovery series and today's 7 of part 2. Now yesterday I mentioned this idea of empathy and the difference it makes when we see something in our own mind. So it's very different thinking through a situation and trying to imagine how someone else might feel, as opposed to simply being in the experience, knowing that feeling for oneself. That doesn't mean you have to replicate the circumstances of the other person, obviously. Remember, although our circumstances might differ a lot in life, the quality of emotion is something that sort of unites us all. And in knowing it very directly for ourselves, knowing it experientially rather than intellectually, it's much easier to be able to see where other people are coming from. And rather than judge them or criticize them in the way that we might usually do or might have a tendency to do, instead to see what's happening actually and why they might be behaving in the way they're behaving. It doesn't necessarily negate their behavior. It doesn't excuse kind of bad behavior, and certainly doesn't excuse kind of any violent or aggressive behavior, but it allows us to understand why people behave the way they do, why we behave the way we do. So as you go through the day today, and I'll come back with a couple of tips for this at the end of today's session, just something to bear in mind, something to start to notice as you experience those feelings for yourself in their entirety, how that can help you understand the minds of people around you as well. But to begin with, today I'd like you just to take a moment to get comfortable. So as you sit there with that very soft gaze, aware of the space around you in the room, remember your peripheral vision to the sides, above, below. Not staring at any one thing, but just aware of that space in the room. And just maintaining that, taking a few nice big deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with the next out breath, just gently closing the eyes, allowing the breath to return to its natural rhythm as you just start to engage the physical senses, becoming aware of the weight of the body and those physical points of contact. As you become more aware of sounds, not trying to listen, but just allowing sounds to come in and out of your field of awareness. And then just bringing the attention back to the body, starting to get a sense of how the body feels today. And then starting at the top of the head, just gently scanning down, all the way down to the toes. Just noticing whether the sensation is pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral. And at the same time, just starting to become more aware of the emotional quality of mind today. Noticing if there's any particular mood around. Reminding yourself of why you're doing what you're doing today. Remembering to make sure that you're not sitting there trying to get rid of thoughts, that you're not sitting there with the idea of getting rid of unpleasant feelings, but just knowing, understanding what it is you're looking to learn from the exercise. Remembering the potential that this kind of exercise has for the people around you as well. If you're happier, clearer, calmer, more content as a person, the implications that that has for the people around you as well. And just knowing that it's a effortless type of effort that's required for this exercise. Not trying to direct the mind in any particular direction, not trying to change the mind, but just watching, observing, and just very lightly noting the nature of the experience. So with that in mind, just coming now to the sensation of the breath in the body. Noticing not only where you feel it, but also the rhythm of the breath in that area. And in your own time now, You can just start to count the breaths as they pass if you find that useful. And then now letting go of any focus. Just for 20-30 seconds. And then bringing the attention back to the body again. Back to those feelings of contact. You start to notice any sounds or strong smells, whatever it is that's most obvious to your physical senses. And in your own time, you can just open the eyes again. And as you just refocus the eyes, aware of your posture, aware of how you're sat, aware of how you're feeling right now. Just putting the intention in to be aware throughout the day, knowing how important that is, how valuable that is, to be mindful throughout the day. And as you sit back in the chair now, just remembering that idea as you go through your day today, to not only be aware of your own feelings, if you can, noting them when you realize you've been distracted in some way, caught up in those feelings, but also just starting to notice others around you a little bit more. It might be that they're struggling with some kind of physical pain. It might be that you're seeing their emotions quite clearly. Whatever it is, in becoming more aware, in seeing those feelings and noticing how you relate to them instinctively. So we all tend to react to certain emotions in a particular way. We have a pattern. We've developed a tendency to react to different emotions in a different way. So if you can see how you react to other people when they're feeling like that, it'll start to give you a clue as to how you react to those feelings within yourself, actually. So it's just a reflection, one or the other. So we can actually not only learn to empathize and relate to others to see where they're coming from, but at the same time, they can start to give us a clue as to how we relate to feelings in our own mind and in our own body. So we're learning more about ourselves and more about others at the same time. But I'll see you back here